Hey guys, AJ here. What's going on, y'all? See, one thing about um, Cold War is when I'm playing zombies, right? The only map I really like playing on here is Firebase Z. I used to like this map, but decided to build them while I used to camp at. They patched it for no reason for me anyway, and Forsaken. It's not really my thing. But I do like D Machine a little bit, but not as much as Firebase Z. So it's not a whole lot of maps on here I can play. But at the same time, I can play Outbreak. I can play Outbreak. And the other thing that I can play on this that I don't typically play in a lot of Call of Duties is I feel I like playing multiplayer. Multiplayer is going to be multiplayer, but not every single game is the same, and I kind of like this one a little bit more. So anyway, for years me playing Call of Duty games, I'm playing for 3 different modes technically: the campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. So when I'm playing just zombies, it's like I'm paying for the whole game, but I'm only utilizing 1/3 of it. And there are times when I just don't like the campaign, and sometimes I give it a try. I didn't give it a try, I don't believe, in the last 2 games, but this one I tried that. I didn't really like it, but I do like multiplayer a little bit more in this. This is what got me into multiplayer. So anyway, I'm going to play a little bit multiplayer today that I typically don't play. So, let me see. How did I get started with multiplayer? Well, I'm going to make 2 videos, so this one's not as long. I'm going to show y'all what I did to get started with multiplayer. First, I went on the customs game. That, to me, that's like the practice mode. And what I did was, let me see. I'm going to edit the rules with just one thing. I'm going to have it so it's unlimited time. Unlimited points. I'm not going to change the way I play because I can give myself more health and all of that stuff. I'm not going to do any of that. Let me see. I think the only other thing that I would probably do is, as far as changing the rules go. Oh yeah, it didn't save. Maybe I should have. No, wait, 1 second. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm a little bit rusty in that regard. They have it set so when you do the opening, it takes a little bit longer for the opening. Here it is. You know, like the drive-in and all of that stuff. I'm going to change that. That's all. But I'm not going to change, like, the style of play or anything like that. Just so the game can load up a little bit quicker. Okay. Unlimited score, unlimited ammo, blah, blah, blah. So now, they are going to ask me to save again. I'll just save it. I don't save it under... Well, I'll just hit save. Alright, so... my weapon. Let's see. I'm gonna just tell you how I set up my weapon. This is gonna be backwards, but I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it to perk greed. I would rather have more perks and have less attachments on my weapon and have less lethals and tacticals. Because I have a way of working around that. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to look at my perks. My perks, let's just start from scratch. I like having this on because it helps me with explosives and fire. And this one is going to help me with the stem shot grenades and all of that stuff. And I'm immune to the gas. These are the ones that I like to work with. Okay, so now moving on. Let's start over. Let's see. Now, I'm not going to have more tacticals or anything, but I can have it so my equipment cools down a little bit quicker. So that's going to work for me. As for my second perk, I like my field upgrade. So I like the fact that I can hold two of them, you know. And I'm just gonna like, I didn't mention this in the video, but some of the things don't apply to me anyway because I like playing 6v6. If anybody wanted to play a different mode, like let's say one of my buddies jumped online and they wanted to play a different mode, I can play any mode, but my go-to is 6v6. So you just kind of just got to go with what you like, and I don't hold it against anybody who likes a specific mode. Like there's some people that I know that only like hardcore. I tried hardcore; it's not for me. I like playing regular core. So anyway, I like the fact that I can get my cooldown a little bit quick on my field upgrade. So I'll just go with that. That's the one. Me tracking somebody, I have my own method of tracking somebody. I don't need to look at their footprints. Alright, so let's start from scratch. Again, I'm not playing the regular zombie because this is going to help me with score streaks and all of that stuff. So this doesn't pertain to me because there is no score streaks in 6v6. That's one of the reasons why I like this particular mode. So even if I put this on, it's not going to make any difference at all. This, when I had to do a Pacific challenge, I can basically sprint while I'm holding a weapon in my hand, and that's actually kind of useful. So I'm just going to tell you there are three that I like, and it's the three that I didn't mention. I'm going to start with the first one that I always going to go with no matter what. That's Ninja. It makes me move around the map a little bit more quietly, but I am more of a camper. I do move around. I am aggressive when I need to be, but I am more on the on the chill side when it comes, I bounce back and forth basically. So I'm gonna have Ninja. So me knowing that I'm not gonna be hurt as much works for me. Now, depending on the situation, I bounce back between these two. If I see that a lot of people are using thermals, I'm probably gonna use cold-blooded because you are immune to score streaks. Again, this mode doesn't have score streaks, but a enemy, like I'm immune to flash grenades and all of that stuff, but this right here, you're immune to a lot of stuff. But like I said, Ghost, this doesn't apply to me, so it's really all boiled down to these two. And I'm gonna say that in certain situations I will put on cold-blooded, but if it's not those specific situations, I'm just gonna put on this right here because this has a lot of little small advantages. So anyway, I kind of like this a little bit more. But if I keep getting killed by like that same guy a couple of times in different matches that has a thermal on, I'll probably put this on. But so anyway, those are my perks. So moving on to my tacticals, my lethals, and my field upgrade. So my tactical, I like using a stem shot in here. I like the fact that if I get into a gunfight and I survive, I might get into another gunfight right away. So I want to replenish my health as quick as possible. A lot of people is gonna like argue that it helps them maybe in one situation out of 10. Flash grenades help them more. But like I said, everybody's style of play is a little bit different. Me personally, if I want a gunfight and I'm about to get into another gunfight, I want to hide for 1 second, replenish my health, and get into the next gunfight. So that's what works for me. Now, as far as my lethal goes, well, I told you that I'm a little bit more on the conservative side. I'm really not that aggressive. I am in certain situations, but I have my setup in a way that's more farther away, long distance fighting. But when I do have to get up and close and personal, I like to use my tomahawk in those certain situations. As far as my field upgrade, I love my field upgrade to be this one right here, the trophy system, because if somebody's throwing grenades at me and stuff, it automatically messes it up. Now, there's a way to counter this, that's the jammer. But a lot of times people can hack my jammer and use it against me. Or there are certain people that play this game so much that they know like every single hiding spot and the best spot to put the jammer. I really don't. The jammer is the best one. To me, I like this one as my second best. But because of those situations that I mentioned, that's the reason I prefer the trophy system. So anyway, moving on to my secondary weapon. My secondary weapon, I used to have this on until they nerfed it. So, there are times that I go back and forth with this and I still go, but this is my secondary weapon that I really like the most right here. Now, how do I build it? Well, let's see. All right, I don't have to worry about this because this is not going to pertain to me. So let me just start off with this, to having a dually. I like having a dually on this particular weapon, and by having a dually, there's certain things that's not going to pertain to me. Like this, it's not that necessary on a dually. It actually kicks it off. See, the moment you put something on here. So anyway, let me make sure it's still on. Okay. So now let me go to the muzzle. The muzzle, you got to think differently when you're in multiplayer because this is a completely different mode. But the things that don't matter that much in zombies definitely matters in this one. So, like me having 80% muscle, that means that it's gonna probably flash on the radar and disappear. So you might be thinking, maybe I should just put this on so I won't be seen on the radar at all. Well, yeah, I could. It's just that you got to be able to control these guns' recoil because they shoot all over the place. And it's not like zombies that, well, technically zombies, they shoot all over the place too. It's just that you have Deadshot Daiquiri and it just automatically aims to the head. That's a zombies thing. That ain't gonna help me in multiplayer. So in multiplayer, I need to figure out a way to control the recoil. So I'm gonna put 80% and it being let me see, I'm gonna control the vertical recoil by 17% with this. So I'm gonna put this on. So now there are certain situations when I need this and when I don't need this, so I'm going to skip this for right now. Let me see. No matter of fact, no, I'm going to skip this, the body. The barrel, I am going to put this on. So now, bullet velocity being at, see, one good thing about this is, when you put something on that has no, when you have no cons, that's always a good thing. Having something that's going to benefit you and have no cons, that's always a good thing. But the thing is, I'm controlling the vertical recoil in this game, so I got to control the horizontal recoil also. So destroying the weapon is not that big of a deal. This right here is going to give me bullet velocity and it's going to be effective range. That's actually pretty good. And the cons, you know, me affecting my movement. If I'm going to affect my movement and my gun's going to be stronger, it might be a good trade-off. But let me just keep going. Well, having 100% bullet velocity is good because, in case you didn't know what bullet velocity does, if you're shooting at me and I'm shooting at you, my bullet's going to get to you before it gets to me. And on top of that, it doesn't make your bullet stronger. It just makes it so if I'm shooting you from across the room, my bullet is going to stay as strong as it is if you was like right in front of me. It's not going to be no no, because the thing is when you shoot, it might be the same case in real life, but if I'm across the room and I shoot at you, right? It's going to be a little bit weaker across the room than it is like right in front of you. The further it has to travel, the weaker it's going to get. But with bullet velocity, it makes it so it's going to be just as strong. But effective damage range doesn't make your gun, it's going to make your gun fall off, but it's going to be stronger. So it's best to have both. And this gives you both. But I also got to remember that I got to control my, I also got to control my bullet. I got to control my recoil in this. So even though this makes my gun way stronger, look at the cons though. The cons are going to make my gun way not as good as it should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just back off and I'm going to say, you know what is the best thing for me right now? And right now at this moment, I might switch it up, but I don't really need to make my gun stronger. This does make my gun, it does take care of both avenues at the same time. So But I also got to remember, I'm going to be shooting up close with this gun, really. So since I can't make a decisive decision on which one I'm going to do, I'm going to just put this on. It gives me a little bit of effective range, and it gives me bullet velocity. It gives me both. I'm definitely not going to put this on because I don't want my recoil to get, you know, worse than it is. Let's see. I'm still not 100% sure. So since I'm not 100% sure, I'm going to go with 60% damage range. I'm just going to go with that. Now, let me see. I only got 2 slots left. I'm going to go with the magazine real quick to see what I got. The aim down sight is not going to be that big of a deal because I'm not going to be aiming down sight with this weapon because it's dually. So that's one of the advantages. Like I said, certain things don't apply to me. So I'm going to definitely put that on. So now that just leaves 2 slots. Now, the 2 slots here. This is actually pretty cool because it makes it so your body doesn't get revealed as much. But this right here makes your gun aim down sight a little bit better. But again, I'm not using this for aim down sight because aim down sight doesn't pertain to me. So with that being said, I'm going to go over to the body. It makes it so this is actually pretty cool because when you're aiming down sight, you're 60%. That means they got to be within 60 meters of you before they can, you know, before they can see you. I don't know exactly the proper terms, but basically when you're aiming down sight, it takes them a little bit. They got to get closer to you until they see you on the radar. And it reveals, like distance reveals. You're kind of like cloaked in a way. As long as you have your aim down sight out. But again, I don't have aim down sight, so that's not going to help me at all. This is going to help me with my hip firing, and it's going to help me with that. But my aim down sight doesn't pertain to me, but my sprint to fire is going to mess me up a little bit. But let me see. This is going to affect me more. I would rather go with this only because the only thing that's affected between the two of these is aim down sight, and aim down sight doesn't pertain to me. And let me just double check everything. So I'm going to go with this. So now I'm just going to double check to see if I missed anything. No, this actually looks pretty good. Now, move on to my gun. I like assault rifles in this game more than any type of weapon, and to me, the best assault rifle for me to play with in zombies is my FFAR. But in multiplayer, I kind of like this particular weapon only because it naturally has a little bit more bullet velocity. And just for a quick quote, disclaimer, you can do this with any zombies on multiplayer, but if you click on a weapon and then click back on that weapon, you see like stacks at the bottom, and you see how it says compared to the FARA 83. So everything that I highlight now is going to be compared to that particular weapon. So now when I go up to the XM4, for example, it's going to show that compared to the FARA 83, it's not as strong, but it's faster. It has more accuracy and more ammo, as you can see that. And then this one, it's weaker, but it's faster, more accurate. Basically, you can see the stats, right? So if you want to compare this to other weapons, that's what you can do. This one is slightly better in a lot of avenues. It's just a little bit weaker. But I like this particular gun because it naturally has more bullet velocity than the other weapons. So it has the most bullet velocity at any assault rifle in this game. And that's important, the reason why I'm going to get to that in a minute when I'm building this gun. So now, let's see. This is what I'm going to do. I might switch this. I might do this one a little bit differently. I'm not sure yet. But let me just start with the muzzle. The muzzle, Let me see. Let me see. This is gonna help me with my vertical, but my horizontal gets affected a little bit more. This gets affected more too, but I'm off. Let me see. But this one makes it so I'm off the radar a little bit more at 85%. So I'm going to go with this. My horizontal gets worse, but I'm going to have to fix that real quick. So I'm going to put this on for now. Now, my barrel. My barrel, let's see. This right here is going to affect my horizontal and my... Basically, it makes your gun stronger. But the fact that you probably can't control it because of all of those things down there, all of those negatives, makes it so it's not that viable. So I'm not going to go with that. Now, I told you a little while ago that naturally this particular weapon has a lot more bullet velocity than any other gun. So bullet velocity is not really the problem. I would rather make the gun stronger distance-wise. So I'm going to put this on. So that just means that further away is going to make it stronger. But it's not going to take us any faster to get there, but it's going to be stronger. But this gun, like I said, has already got good bullet velocity. So I'm going to just go with this. So now I'm going to skip the body right now because the body does the whole reveal thing. And I'm not as important with this because I'm going to be shooting from a distance away. So I'm going to skip. I might get back to this, but I'm going to skip it for now. Now, let's see. I gotta control this horizontal now. Now, this is the best thing to probably go with because it has no cons. But it's at 15%. That's actually pretty good. The movement, I'm gonna control my recoil though. This gives me 18%, and I get back vertical with 2%, but it makes my shooting move speed a little bit worse. And this affects me in a lot of areas. I would rather go with this. It affects me bad in one area, but not multiple areas. So I would rather just go with this. So now let me just give myself some ammo. Let's see, the aim down sight. I'll sacrifice aim down sight because I'm going to be a little bit stealthier with this gun. So I'm going to sacrifice aim down sight. So now I have a choice between my handling, my aim down sight, and my sprint to fire. I care more about aim down sight. If I'm going to be more aggressive, I would care about sprint to fire, but I'm going to put in aim down sight. Let me see. It affects it by 15. This affects it by 10, but you have less aim down sight. I would rather go with this. So that's pretty much my build. So I think my build is going to be straight. And this is the typical build that I would probably go into with a game. But I might switch it a little bit. But I'm just going to, since I went through all of this to show you how the gun shoots, I might as well just show you how the gun plays with. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to change my lethal for a particular reason. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this on only because of training. It's going to make sense in a minute. So since I went through all of the trouble of showing you how I set up my weapon, I'm going to kind of show you how it works, and I'm able to do that in practice mode. So anyway, I have no bots on. You can put bots on this. I'm not going to do any of that. But I'm going to show you exactly how my gun shoots now. Now, some things on this game is going to be a little bit different. But for the most part, I've learned a lot from, when you learn a lot how to play one multiplayer, it's going to help you with a lot of other multiplayers. Now, I probably have it set up so this game I'll be able to probably just go right into this match. But then there's not going to be anybody on this board. It's going to be just me. And the sentimental intro, it's just me just driving in on a car, And to me, that's just gonna waste more time. So now the first thing I like to do is I like to see how my gun's gonna shoot now. A little of this, you might be thinking this might be a waste of time, but you want to see how your gun shoots. So now, without me like moving my left analog at all, like, or my right analog to make it like move, I'm just gonna just shoot and see where it goes. Let me show you. You see? It shoots right there. It's not bouncing all over the place. Shoots like a laser. It goes right where it needs to be. Now, let me check this out. It's dead center. The reason why that's kind of important is because, let me just show you something real quick. Let's see. My creator class. I'm gonna go to the gunsmith real quick, and let's say that I wanted to go with 100% muzzle. I wanted to be off the radar. I don't care about nothing else but being off the radar, right? I could do that. And I would never pop up on anybody's radar. Now that I just made that change, right? The reason why I bring in the Molotov is because for me to affect that change in practice mode, I'm gonna have to die and come back. Unfortunately. So now it's just been changed. Where am I? The weird thing is I'm gonna see my body and everything. I don't know. At least I thought maybe they made a change in this game. But anyway, now I'm gonna check it out though. I didn't move my Joy-Con up at all. I literally just aimed and pressed on the trigger. And now how you see how bullet velocity is kind of important. It's gonna shoot all over the place like crazy. So now, so basically I don't do this in more multiplayer games. I kind of like remember how exactly how this works. So, but I just wanted to take the time to just show you. Let me see. Now I'm gonna go back to the gunsmith, and I'm going to change it back to how it was, so it's controlled a little bit more. So now I changed it back. No, I was right. It does show you a dead body. Yep. So now, let me go back, and now that I made that change, see? Shooting like a laser again. Now, why is that important? Is because you don't want to get in a match and find out that your gun is shooting all over the place. You don't want to find that out. And on top of that, when you're in practice mode, you can look around and see things. Like, you can see what works for you, what doesn't. Like, for example, I've been on practice mode with this match for so long. I know that the ammo crate is going to be a little bit past me on the right. It's going to be here. The other thing that I realized on this particular match is, on this particular map, it's better for me to just stay to the right and just aim and just see where I'm going with this. And the other thing is, basically you get to learn the map a little bit more because you're in practice mode. That's the point of it. To me, what made me get better at multiplayer is practice, see what works for me, see what's done, you know, what doesn't, and I come in and I just do my whole thing. Well, anyway, I'm in this broadcast now. I'll check y'all later. Peace out.